Welcome to another tutorial on the IGCSE IT examination, and in this video we are going to look at the paper 2013 paper, specifically focusing on the database task. The reason for that is because normally if you're using Windows machines you can have access, Microsoft Access, which is great. But if you're using a Mac, Microsoft Access is not available for you. So we need an alternative. And for that, we're going to use FileMaker Advanced, which does the trick. So Activity2 is about using database software, and we have to use the database Safari. Now, you'll be given that file, but of course for this, I'm going to get you to create the whole database from scratch, so you have an understanding of creating this database. Underneath there's a small scenario of the task. Go to Activity 2. Here we go. Activity 2. It says Jonathan has created a database called Safari to store details of the animals and sponsors. Database will contain 3 tables. In fact, there are actually 4 tables, but one of them you have for the word processing task. So animal, sponsor, donation. It tells us the data, the field names, the categories for each record. Then we've got the types of data that will be stored, and then there'll be description. So we can see for sponsor, it's going to be a drop down. There's going to have a choice. So first of all, let's create this table. Okay. So we're going to open up FileMaker Pro, and we are then going to go to File. If you don't see it on the screen, just have a look at the top because it's already open and it shows FileMaker Pro. We go File, New Solution, and we're going to call this Safari. Okay. So as it opens up, I'm going to call this Safari. Oops. Safari, and I'm going to save this on the desktop and save. Okay, and the one that we can see here is sponsor. So we'll create one called sponsor. Go to table. I think I want one called Safari. I don't. I'm going to have to remove this one. Okay, and I'm going to call this one sponsor. Great. Go to fields, and I'm going to have in capital letters here. First one we sponsor ref. Okay, this is going to be auto number, so I need to change the text to a number, and I need to then, I'm going to create this, and once I create it, I'm going to go to options. I then go to validation, and it's going to be a unique field, which will mean it'll be a unique value. It's going to be a primary key. Then I go to auto enter, and I need to have it as a auto created, so that would be a serial, like so. So it'll just go on creation like so. Should be fine. Press OK. So so it's unique, auto enter, serial. I believe we might change that in a bit. Okay, when I see the data. In fact, let's have a look at the data, because that looks like it's going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want that. Next one, title and F name. So of course I'm going to have title, change that to text, create, F name, text. Over here, let's have a quick look. Ah, yes, it does. It goes up one at a time, so that's actually okay. So serial, unique, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's fine. Perfect. Okay. Next one is first name, initial, and then last name. So initial, then last name. Add 1. Address 2, P code, phone. Right. And date of birth needs to be a date time. So I need to just go back to date of birth to date time. Phone number, of course, is always going to be a text. I'll change that. Always going to be a text because it'll either start with a symbol like a plus or it'll start with a 0. So that's why you have to have it as a text. Okay. This will be auto. Press OK. And it should now create this table. Oops. Like so. So the first one, of course, is this one here. Now, then we go File, and we go to Import. And all I need to do here is I go to CSV, and I find the file, and I think it's in Task 5, 2013. We want sponsor, open. And the first one is definitely the field headings, okay? Oh, no, the first one is definitely a record. Okay, fine. We like that. That's good. So don't import first record, contains field. No, not this time. They're all matching, so these are the fields. This is where the record will go to the field. If it's not right, then I can just change it, okay? If I so desired, but I don't need to. Okay, add new records. I can then just go, let's go into the sponsor, import. Import options. I'm just going to click import there. It should put them all in. We go to the view, we should see them all. Good, so everything works there, right? Then we have another 2 tables. We have another 3. We've got address, animal, and donation to put in as well. So I'm just going to import these. Import as file, and so I want to have address, open, make sure it says CSV. Of course, they're all linked up, which is good. I don't want to go to current. I want a new table called address. The first record, of course, is not the field, so I don't need to tick this one, and I just go import. Okay, that's 3, which is good. Then I go file, import records, and file. I make sure I set comma separated value, done address, and I'll need animal, open. Again, oh, now this looks weird. Something's weird going on here. I don't like this. I'm going to say new table. And of course, as you can see, there are no fields here, so we need to create those. Don't add. So I'm going to go import. Okay. But of course, we know that we're going to have to create. And the other one is donation, I think it is. File, import, file. And we will have to try and change the thing. So CSV, the fields. So donation, open, which that's CSV. And again, we're going to have to go to a new table. But of course, there are no records in it. So we're just going to have to go import, like so. And okay. Now, when you do this, you'll be given the database all set up, so you won't have to worry about if you may have to import create a table, but of course you'll be told what the fields are. In this, you're actually given it. The only trouble is this is F1, F2, so we need to change the names. So manage database, and we're not sure what they are. Okay, and going back, it's not absolutely clear what they are, but I could go to table. So let's say I go to address, go to fields, and then I've got all these down here. Now the problem is we don't know what they are. This is address, so let's have a look with address, because we should be able to have a look what they are. So we've got now the first one is title. Oops. Don't want that to do that. Just drag it. If it changed the order, just drag them down. Okay, so I click down here. We can see this is title. I'll just go change. Next one will be F name. Change. Next one will probably be initial. Change. Next one will be L name. Change. F4 will be probably ADDR1. Change. Actually, I may have created one by accident. Let's just press OK there. Go to address. Yeah, so somehow I've missed one out here. Yeah, so I think the initial one was yeah, so I've added an initial one. So I just need to go back, File, Manage Database. We can see them here anyway. So I think the initial one was actually a mistake. Delete. Right. Last name should be initial. Change. This one should be L name. Change. F5 will be ADDR1. Change. F6 is address 2. Change. This will be P code. We'll come back to that one in a minute. This will be phone. Change. F10 will be I think sponsor amount. Change. Date. Let's put date in there. Change. Oh, hang on. No, I think this one's date. Sorry, the last one's date. Change. Oh, I can't do that. Nah. To do that. This is sponsor amount. And this is the animal. Change. This one will be date. Change. And the one before, I think that's the name of the animal. So put animal name. Animal name. Okay. Change. When we're going down, we've got title, first name, initial. Sponsor amount will probably be a currency. So I could change that to a number. Okay. It's a number. Change that. In fact, we might be able to put it as a currency perhaps on here. I'm going to leave that. Okay. Date needs to be a date as well anyway. There, so I can press change. Yes. And if I press OK, then they should all go in and we should see. Does it like the This doesn't like the that there. Okay, I'll leave that there. Like so. Right, now we go to the other one. We go to a different record. So we've got, let's go sponsor. Okay, sponsor's fine. Address should be fine. Animal. So we go to the animal part. Oops. So these are the animals. There's the name of animal, etc. So I could go to manage database again. And I can change. So first one, of course, is going to be ID. Change. Name. Change. Type. Change. That's basically, so this is the origin. Change. This is very date of birth, so I'll put DOB, and of course change this to date. Change. Origin, fine. This is the, I think this is like the Latin name, isn't it? Latin name. Change. And ID, of course, is unique. So options, validations, set unique value, press OK. That'll be unique. Okay. Press OK, and that'll put date of birth. Boom, 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 like so. And then we go to donation. We know this is the amount, so somehow we need to put a currency there. So manage database. Select, this will be ID. Change. Now, this will be amount. This will be date. So that's definitely going to be a date field there. Okay, that's fine. Now, what are these two here? I suspect this is the ID. Right, I'm going to press OK here. Now, I'm suspecting these are foreign keys. These relate to the other database over here. So, this one goes up to 26, which, so if I go to sponsor, there are only a max of 20 here. If I go to animal, there are 20, 30. Right, so that means one of them is definitely animal. So I go back to the donation. This one is going to be the animal ID based on what I'm thinking of here. So I go to manage database. So F2 is animal ID, and we'll change this to a number because that's linked to the other one. In fact, ID here needs to be linked. Oh, yes, save. This needs to be a number, and again, we want that to be auto increment. So options, auto enter, and we say serial number. So we say OK, and actually options, I want it to increment. Yes, I do. Blah, blah, blah. They're fine. And then the last one, this is going to be sponsor ID. And again, I choose number, like so, because it has to be the same as the primary key where you're taking it from. Okay. And then I can go back to animal. Actually, I didn't have to. Manage database. Got this one done. So this is ID here. This got to be a number. And again, change options, auto enter, serial, and that automatic increment. Okay. Now, if you want to create the relationship, I need to now go to File, Manage Database, and Relationships. We don't want Safari. We've got Sponsor, which is good. Donation, which is good. We've got Address. Don't think one of them we don't need for the moment. This is Animal Sponsor Donation. We don't need that for the moment because that's separate. And then we need to create a link. So we can see that Animal ID and Sponsor ID are foreign keys. So I could drag Sponsor ID to Sponsor Ref, Animal ID to there, and that's creating my relationship. And if I need to create a screenshot, I can just Shift Command 4 and select them. Okay, press OK. So that's now created my tables. Okay, yours should already be created. The only one that I've got a problem with is donation, where we need to have that as a currency. So if we go Manage Database, Fields, we want to change this not from a text, but to a number, and it needs to be a currency. So we need to actually change this to a currency, but we can't seem to have that in. At the moment, but I'll put it as a number because of course you want to probably do a calculation with it. So press OK, and all I'll do at the moment is I'll just remove these here. For this now, okay, but this will all be set up for you. And there's a 0 there. Okay, so question 2, it says, the first question says add these sponsor details to the database. Right, we need to add them to the database. Fairly easy. I just need to go to sponsor, set sponsor, and at the bottom I can then create a sponsor data table. Now, interesting enough, it seems to have allowed me to write 2, which shouldn't have allowed me. Because there's a 2 there. I wonder why it's doing that. No. But it won't allow me, but it's not allowing me to write that, by the way. So it seems to have added that. So I need to enter this with an increment of like 21 there, and then that will allow me. So it has so it won't put 2 down, but it seems to have put Mrs. Jane Smith. So I can say Mrs. And I have to keep clicking as I go along. Okay, Jane J. Smith, 3 High Street. Then we've got Windy Moor. Hoping there are others. Yes, there is, so I can know how to spell it. Windy Moor. Then HH6, 6HY. Then 01203, 01203. 454, 647. And finally, we've got born 7th February 1979. So 07 February 1979 or 69? 79. Okay, perfect. Now, going back, it says here sort the sponsor table in ascending order of date of birth. So click up here, the arrow, ascending order, so that sorts it. Make sure you can see all the data. If you can't, just stretch it, like so. Then we go down and it says save the sponsor table, open new document and set the orientation to landscape. Okay, so I need to open a new document here. Set it to landscape, so layout, portrait landscape, like so. Task DB1 and your name in the footer. In the footer. One, delete the middle one, and then your name on the right. Okay. And say the word process docker is task DB1. So file, save as. We call this task DB1. And copy and paste sponsor table into task DB1. Okay, so shift command 4, and all we need to do is just copy that and drag it into here so we can see all the data. And it just says print it, so that's fairly easy. Command P. Okay, so we can print that out. That's probably one of the easiest tasks to do. Then now he wants to open a new document using word processing software. Again, set it to landscape and to task DB2 in your name. So again, you need to go file, new document. I'm going to close this one and set this to landscape. Okay, save that. So set to landscape. And put task DB2 down the bottom, remove, put your candidate details on the other side, and we save this as task DB2. Like so. Now, I'm going to minimize that for a moment. Then I need to look for the list of sponsors who are less than 16 years old on the 1st of July 2013. So it needs to be less than 1st July 2013. All fields are displayed. Okay, so that's easy. So I just have to go find, create a new find. I'm going to have all the fields. Date of birth will be less than. Is it less than equals? Who are less than 16 years old on the 21st. Okay. Basically born after. Okay. So I need to say, let's say greater than 1st July 1901 07 197. And then we could go perform a find, and this should find all those that are basically less than 16. Now, we know that 1998 now would be more than 16, but of course this is on 2013, and so basically that would be that would be less than 16. Once you've done this, we can actually save this. So save the current find as, I think it's DB2A, save, and then it tells us display the results, copy and paste the results to task DB2. Okay, so that's fairly easy. Shift command 4, oops, wrong one. Shift command 4, click, drag it into there, boom. We have it. Okay, and we can Command S will save it. Now I'm going to show all the fields again. Probably removing the top one actually. Delete that top one. Permanently delete yes. Okay, because otherwise there'll be a problem there. Now he wants a list of sponsors whose title is Mr. who have a postcode beginning with HH4. And we only want those with title, initial, last name, address 1, address 2, and postcode. So we'll create a new find. We want it, title will be Mr. So I go perform find. Good. Oh, let's find all those actually are not just Mr. there. Modify the last find. I want it to be equals that. So let's go back. Operators. Match entire word. Mr. Perform find. That's better. Yeah, I like that. Modify last find. Now I want all those that start HH4 in the postcode. So I can go postcode and I can type HH4. If I go operator, I should, let's try HH4 there, find. That finds all the ones that start. If I go modify last find, and I go operator, match whole word, let's see what happens with this. Yeah, that's fine. So it matches the whole word, okay? So it looks for all those after. Sometimes you used to be able to do this. Right, star. Yeah, that does. So a star will be like a wild card there. Okay. Modify last find. So I can either do HH4 star equals, okay. Going back, only shows the fields title, initial, last name, address. So, okay, so that's easy. So we perform the find. We can modify it, and I can take this one off. Title, initial, last name. So I don't need that. Initial, last name. Address 1, address 2, and postcode. Address 1, address 2, postcode. I don't need them. Press OK. And create the search, display the results, and copy and paste it. Okay, easy. Shift Command 4. Select it. And we just drag it at the bottom there. So that's the second one. Okay. And I'll just save this as task DB2B. DB2B. Okay, and save. And then this time I'm going to show all the records and then just come back out of it after I've done it. So I'll close that and save it. And of course we print that. Don't need that over there. I'm going to skip. Okay. Next one, we want to open a new word processing document, and the donation table needs to be linked to the animal and sponsor tables. Don't think I've done that yet, or I may have done. Okay. So each sponsor can make one donation. More than one donation can be made for each animal. Create appropriate relationships. Okay. So we need to create it DB3, task DB3. Okay, put headers and footers. Remove the middle one. Put my name in the bottom. And I go File and Save As. And I call this task DB3. Now, to see the relationships, I need to go File and Manage, and then Database. So we've got tables here, we've got fields here, and then relationships. Now, I need to create a relationship between animal and sponsor tables. Okay, so the animal and sponsor. Now I'm going to remove this for a minute, and to create that, I need to find suitable fields. And we can see the donor one is the animal ID, is the foreign key because it's linked to here. So I just click and hold and drag it to this one here, and I let go, and then that creates a relationship like so. And if I double click on it, then I can then see where it's linked to. Like so. Like so. So I press OK. That's one-to-many relationship. Okay. An animal can have more than one sponsor. Okay. Now, display the relationship on screen. Make sure all fields are displayed and take a screenshot. So you just have to drag these down like so to make sure you can view it, and just go Shift Command 4 and take a screenshot like so. And actually that's the easiest way to do it. Boom. And then label the screenshot to identify the primary key of one of the relationships. Okay. Now we can see here, because on FileMaker Advanced it actually shows you the relationships at the top. So you can see sponsor ref is a primary key there. ID there is a primary key. And of course here, these are the foreign key because they're linked to these tables. So we know that we just have to make we need to just identify sponsor ref here. So I can just go Insert, Shift, and if I find one of these, there we go, find, click it up there. If you want, you can change the background for this because it isn't that clear. So I'll say no fill, but then I can just say primary key like so. And all I need to do is go home, make it black so I can see it, and just center it. And it says save and print on one side. Okay, so that's Command S, Command P, and that will print. Okay, I'm going to close that now, press OK, and I'm going to go to task DB4. And this time it says open new document using word processing software, enter task DB4 on your name candidate. Jonathan wants a data entry form for this donation table. Now, the structure is here, and we're going to have to change some of these. So animal ref and sponsor ref, we're going to have to change. Data type is a currency, so that's something I'm going to have to just have a quick look up now, because otherwise you're going to have a problem. So if I go File and Manage, Database, Fields, sponsor is fine. Animal, I'm going to change this to animal ref. Change. Donation, we're going to change this from animal ID to animal ref. Sponsor ID to sponsor ref, like so. And donation ref needs to be this one up here as well. Okay, so change that. Just to make sure they're all right. Amount, yeah, we've got all that. Then we need to create a data entry form. Okay. The field part is a bit trickier. We've got number, but of course it's not very clear. So if we go to OK, we're going to select, we need to see the thing. So I'm going to go modify here. Oh, no, I don't. I'm going to click on this and I want to change it. So right click, it's not doing that. Go back to here choose on the currency one, donation here. There we go. If I go back to here on the amount, edit layout, and if we go to one of the currencies, data, we should be able to see it, hopefully. When we're back in layout view, we need to I'm going to show that again. Save. We're seeing it in there, but of course I can't change it in this. But I can go to the form view and click on amount, edit layout, and there are different options here. There's one position, one styles, one appearance, and one data. Click on data, and I scroll all the way to the bottom to data formatting, which says general. I can actually change it to a date, time, a picture, or a number. Choose general, and choose currency. When I choose currency, I can then see how many decimals I want. I can say the type, so here if it's minuses, or I can say minus, etc. And I can then say if I want it pound or I want it dollar, for example. So I say pound, or I could say dollar. And then once I've got that, I can then basically exit my layout, and this should now be in pound, basic currency. Okay, so if I add a new record, I'm going to put 23, and I put 13, it hasn't changed it. I don't know why that hasn't. That should edit layout. If I go back, I should have it in currency format. Okay, so that is currency. Okay, like so. Now to do things like we want to have this as a form, so I can move this down. I can add title at the bottom. New donation. Oh, got a bit too big there. So I can select it, and all I need to do is just move it out like there. And I can then go back to the formatting, and I can make this bigger. I can center it like so. In fact, I'll make this tiny bit smaller, like so. I can then have, don't think there's anything there. I can put some buttons on here as well. So I can put a button here. I can say add record. Click, single step. And so I go rec field. I can then go to new record, double click, and I'll put it in. I can then go to a new one down here. I can then say delete a record. Like so, and I can say single step. So I could go record, and I can delete record, double click. And then finally I can add a new button like so. I can find a record. Find a record like so. Single step. So if I go to navigation, I think this is where I can go to a record, double click, like so, and that'll put them in there. And then all I then need to do is take a screenshot and identify two features that you made that better. In terms of this, there are no drop down boxes. So I'm just going to go Shift Command 4, like so, select, go back, I think I have to create a new file here. Task DB4. Like so. I then get insert, or I should go up here, insert footers, and I can say task DB4, and over the side I put my name, like so. So then that puts that in, and I need to identify two features that I've done to improve this. So two features to make this better. One, adding navigation buttons. Two, adding a clear title, like so, to make it. And I just have to save and print. So Command S, Command P. Okay. So at the moment it's saving, so I'm going to call this task DB4. Like so. I'm going to X that. Now, final task is that we want to open a new document using word processor software, set the orientation to landscape, enter task DB5 and your name in the footer. Okay. So I'll do task DB5, remove the middle one, like there. We want it to be landscape, so hopefully I haven't messed this up. There we go, it's fine. And we'll save this as task DB5. Like so. And you want a list of sponsors who have donated at least £20 to sponsor an animal. Okay, so we need to go back. I'm going to exit this layout. I'm going to save, and we're going to go back to the main view here. And amount, date, amount. Okay, so I need to go. These are animals that have been donated. So let's go to find, create a new find. And this time I want it those that have donated at least 20. So here, operator greater than or equals, and I'll do 20. And you want amount, date, name, animal. So you want the name of the animal. So here I'm just going to perform the search, and I'm going to save the current search, and I'm going to call this DB5. Save. Then I'm going to modify it. Now this is where I can then add my other fields in. So I'm going to add, and I want amount, date, name, animal. So amount is there, which is fine, that's good. I need animal, so I need name. Okay, so I've one. Date needs to be at the top. Where is it? Date. Amount needs to be at the top. Then name of animal. Then I need name of animal, and I need the type of animal. So I need to go back to animal, and the type of animal. That needs to come next. And we need first name and last name. So I need to go back to the customer, or the sponsor I should say. First name. In fact, if I hold down Command, I can select more than one. First name, last name. Then we need their phone number. So I don't need these. So I now need phone number of the sponsor. Like so. Press OK. That will put them all in. Then I need to sort it in last name. So I need to find last name. Here. Oh, sorry. I've got the wrong one there, so I need to just modify that. Don't want initial. I want to have the sponsor's last name. That needs to be up there. Right, press OK. And that needs to be in ascending order of last name. Create the thing, save it, and display the results of the query. So Shift Command 4, I select all, and it should put it down there. And I should be able to drag that in like so. Display the result, copy it into task DB5, and then save and print. And that is the end of task 2. Okay, so I can just go Command S, Command P, and it'll print it off. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.